Elite units from Iran are training mercenaries as modern-day privateers to carry out naval attacks. The Quds Force naval unit has already trained and equipped hundreds of Yemeni and Iraqi mercenaries to carry out attacks while solidifying a covert arms smuggling network, a new report reveals. News of the unit emerges as diplomatic efforts to persuade Iran to rein in its nuclear program continue. Iran's elite Quds Force is already a well-established branch of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, tasked with mounting extraterritorial operations to support Iran's proxy wars across the Middle East. But its reach was drastically affected by the assassination of its famed leader, General Qasem Soleimani, who was killed in January 2020 by U.S. drone strike whilst in Iraq. Now, intelligence gleaned by the opposition group National Council of Resistance of Iran reveals that Tehran has been steadily attempting to make up for that loss of capability for its operations in Iraq, Yemen, Syria, Palestine, Lebanon, and several African countries. The efforts to engage foreign mercenaries in Yemen have intensified since the election of so-called Butcher of Tehran Ebrahim Raisi as Iran's president, in parallel with an increase in UAV and missile attacks. The new Quds naval force is based at the Khamenei Academy of Naval Sciences and Technology in Zibakener on the Caspian coast, which is overseen by Second Admiral Abdulreza Davestani. But it is Brig Gen Hassan Ali Zamani Paju who oversees the unit's main aim: to provide commando training to foreign mercenaries, which is conducted through comprehensive 6-month residential courses. That commando training is being supplemented by additional maritime courses on Qeshm and Fair Islands in the Gulf, provided by the same Irkabat Abdullah Naval Commando Brigade responsible for attacks on British oil tankers. In January 2020, more than 200 Yemeni mercenaries were trained in commando tactics, naval science, and technology. A similar-sized contingent of Iraqis began their training in July of that year. According to the report, after the completion of their training, the Iraqis were sent to Al-Faw Peninsula and Basra to form a naval unit under the command of the Quds Force, and evidence shows that the new Quds Naval Force's remit goes beyond just training. Using asymmetric warfare tactics established by the IRG, the unit has established new smuggling networks, which are already providing weapons and equipment to expand conflicts into the Arabian Sea, Bab al-Mandab, and the Red Sea. This has already equipped Yemen's Houthi rebels with speedboats, missiles, mines, and other weapons, says the report. One of the methods of transferring weapons to Yemen is to use third countries, such as Somalia. Others include using small boats and using drug smuggling methods, such as oversized 6-foot fenders, in which arms caches are hidden. The fenders are then anchored under the water at said locations and kitted with GPS trackers so they can be retrieved by other vessels. Some of these weapons are being intercepted. In December last year, the U.S. Justice Department announced the successful forfeiture of 2 large caches of the Iranian arms, including 171 surface-to-air missiles and 8 anti-tank missiles destined for Houthi militants in Yemen. Also seized were 1,400 AK-47 assault rifles and 226,600 rounds of ammunition. These and further sierras of thousands of rocket launchers, machine guns, sniper rifles are all believed to have originated from the Iranian port of Jas. Speaking last night, Shahin Gobadi, a press spokesman of the People's Mujahideen Organization of Iran, said, "Since Raisi became president, missile and drone attacks have accelerated along with efforts to acquire nuclear weapons, and the regime has intensified maritime terrorist acts through foreign mercenaries. The Quds Naval Force unit, which trains and equips Iranian proxies, is a real threat both to regional stability and international shipping. Yet, instead of holding the Iranian regime accountable for its actions, Western countries have granted it concessions, a trend that has emboldened Tehran in its nefarious conduct in the region. Regardless of what Supreme Leader Khamenei might do with negotiations over its nuclear program, Tehran must be held accountable for its proxy war in the region, its terrorism, its development of ballistic missiles, and its egregious violations of human rights.